The selection. In a small town on Earth, there was a school called Green Valley High. It was an ordinary place, filled with students who had different dreams and talents. Some were good at sports, while others excelled in music or art. However, a group of students often felt overlooked. They were the ones who struggled in class, who found it hard to fit in. But little did they know, their lives were about to change. One sunny morning, the principal announced a special event. "Attention, everyone. We have an exciting opportunity for you all," he said, his voice echoing through the school auditorium. The students looked around, curious. The principal continued, "The government is hosting a survival challenge in space. They are looking for a team of students to represent Earth." A wave of excitement swept through the room. Students cheered and clapped, but not everyone felt the same way. In the back of the auditorium sat four friends: Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha. They exchanged glances, unsure if they should participate. Mia, the quietest of the group, spoke first. "Do you think we could do it? We aren't like the others." Kale, always the dreamer, smiled. "But we could prove ourselves. This is our chance to show that we can be heroes too." Alex nodded in agreement. He had always felt different and wanted to change how others saw him. Tasha, who often kept to herself, felt a spark of hope. "What if we actually make it?" she asked. After the assembly, the four friends gathered in their favorite spot under a big oak tree. They talked about the challenge and what it could mean for them. "They'll probably choose the popular kids," Tasha said, her voice low. "They're all so smart and talented. They might think we're not good enough," Mia added. "But what if we tried anyway? We might surprise them." The group fell silent, contemplating her words. Slowly, they began to feel a sense of determination. If they worked together, maybe they could prove everyone wrong. The next day, the school held auditions to choose the team. As the day approached, rumors spread about the other students who would compete. The elite group of students was led by Jason, the school's star athlete, and Lily, a brilliant science prodigy. They were confident, known for their achievements and popularity. As the auditions began, the friends watched from the sidelines. One by one, the elite students showcased their skills. Jason demonstrated his strength by lifting heavy weights, while Lily solved complex math problems in seconds. The crowd cheered, and the pressure mounted for the underdogs. When it was finally their turn, the four friends stepped up to the stage, feeling the eyes of the audience upon them. Maya took a deep breath and spoke. "We may not be the strongest or the smartest, but we have something special. We are willing to work hard and learn together." The audience murmured, unsure of what to think. Next, Kale showed a creative solution to a problem, using everyday items to demonstrate his idea. "This is how we can build a shelter in space," he explained confidently. The judges were impressed by his innovative thinking. Alex and Tasha shared their teamwork skills, displaying how they could solve challenges by working together. They encouraged each other, proving that they could overcome obstacles as a unit. Although they were nervous, their determination shone through. As the auditions concluded, the principal announced that the final team would be selected based on skills, creativity, and teamwork. The underdog group felt hopeful yet anxious. Would they make it? Would anyone believe in them? Days passed, and the excitement in the school grew. The principal finally announced the team selection. Students gathered in the auditorium, buzzing with anticipation. The elite students stood tall, certain they would be chosen. But the atmosphere was tense for the friends. As the principal began to read the names, Mia held her breath. And the final team representing Earth in the survival challenges: Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha. The auditorium erupted in mixed reactions. Some cheered while others were shocked. Jason and Lily exchanged glances, their faces filled with disbelief. How did they get picked? Jason sneered, unable to hide his annoyance. "They're just a bunch of losers." But the friends could hardly contain their joy. They hugged each other tightly, their hearts racing. They had done it. They were going to space. The cheers of support from a few students made their victory feel even more special. In the days that followed, the underdog group prepared for their adventure. They knew they would face many challenges ahead, but their determination grew stronger. They were not just fighting for themselves. They were fighting to prove that anyone could be a hero. As the day of departure approached, the friends trained hard and supported one another. They discovered new strengths they never knew they had. Together, they were ready to face the unknown. They were Earth's unlikely heroes, and their journey was just beginning. Training day. The big day had finally arrived. Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha stood outside the training facility, their hearts racing with excitement and fear. The building was large and shiny, filled with advanced technology that they had only seen in movies. Today, they would begin their training for the Space Survival Challenge. As they entered the facility, they were greeted by a stern-looking instructor named Commander Zurich. He was tall, with a deep voice that echoed in the room. "Welcome, students. You will face many challenges here. Only the strongest and smartest will survive in space," he said, eyeing each student carefully. The friends exchanged nervous glances. "We have to show him what we can do," Alex whispered, trying to encourage everyone. They nodded, ready to prove themselves. The first training session was focused on physical fitness. The students were divided into teams. The elite group, led by Jason and Lily, quickly took the lead. They were fast and strong, completing every task with ease. Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha struggled at first. They were not used to the intense workouts and felt out of place. Kale tried to lift weights but found them too heavy. "I can't do this," he said, feeling frustrated. Tasha, who had always been shy, felt even smaller among the elite students. "Maybe we should just give up," she whispered. Mia saw the doubt in her friend's eyes. "No, we can't give up. We might not be the strongest, but we can find a way to make it work," she insisted. The others nodded, finding strength in Mia's words. During their break, the friends gathered to talk. "What if we train together after hours?" Mia suggested. "We can help each other improve." Alex's face lit up. "That's a great idea. We can make a plan." So they decided to meet every evening after their training sessions. They would work on their weaknesses and build on their strengths. With their determination, they started to make progress. As days passed, the friends became closer. They shared stories and encouraged one another. They practiced running, lifting weights, and even teamwork exercises. Slowly but surely, they began to see improvement. Meanwhile, the elite students continued to excel. Jason and Lily often mocked the underdogs. "Do you really think you can compete with us?" Jason laughed one day, watching them struggle. But Mia and her friends ignored the teasing. They were determined to show everyone what they were capable of. One afternoon, the training focused on problem solving. Commander Zurich set up a series of challenges to test the students' creativity and teamwork. The elite group quickly worked through the problems, while the underdogs felt lost at first. "Let's break it down," Kale suggested. "We can tackle each part one at a time." They gathered around a table, brainstorming ideas. Tasha, who had a knack for thinking outside the box, came up with a unique solution. "What if we use this equipment in a different way?" she proposed. The friends looked at her, their faces lighting up with excitement. "That's it," Alex exclaimed. They quickly set to work, and within moments they had created a clever solution that impressed Commander Zurich. "Good work, team," he said, his voice softer than before. "You used your minds instead of just relying on strength. This is how you will survive in space." The friends beamed with pride. They were starting to earn respect. As training continued, they faced various challenges, each tougher than the last. They learned how to build makeshift shelters, navigate in unfamiliar environments, and even work with survival gear. Each session brought new obstacles, but they embraced every challenge. One evening, as they trained together, Mia suggested an idea. What if we create a game to practice our skills? It could help us bond and have fun at the same time. The others agreed, and soon they were running through obstacle courses and solving puzzles in a friendly competition. The laughter and joy filled the training facility, and even Commander Zurich couldn't help but smile at their spirit. "This is good," he said. "Teamwork is essential for survival." As they continued their training, the friends became stronger and more confident. They no longer saw themselves as underdogs, but as a team ready to take on the universe. They learned to trust each other and found strength in their differences. However, the elite students were still a formidable force. They had trained for years, and their confidence often made the underdogs feel small. One day, while the two groups were practicing, Jason sneered, "You think you can beat us? You're wasting your time." But Maya replied firmly, "We may be different, but that doesn't mean we can't succeed. We're not afraid of you." The determination in her voice surprised everyone, including Jason. As training continued, Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha grew closer, their bond stronger than ever. They were no longer just a group of students. They were a family. They learned not only to survive but to thrive, embracing every lesson along the way. And so, with each passing day, their dreams of becoming heroes moved closer to reality. They knew that the real challenge awaited them in space, but they were ready to face it together. With hard work, teamwork, and their unbreakable spirit, they believed they could outsmart even the most elite opponents. Facing the elites, the day of the first major challenge had arrived. The atmosphere in the training facility was electric with excitement. Students buzzed with energy, and the air was thick with anticipation. Today, Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha would compete directly against the elite students, Jason and Lily, in a series of survival tasks. Commander Zurich stood in front of everyone, a serious look on his face. "Today's challenge will test your skills in teamwork, problem-solving, and physical endurance," he announced. "You will be given various scenarios to handle. The winning team will earn extra points for the final evaluation." Mia and her friends exchanged determined glances. They were nervous but ready. "We can do this," Mia whispered, her heart racing. As the challenge began, the first scenario was set in a simulated alien environment. The students had to find food, build shelter, and create a signal for help. They were divided into two groups, the underdogs against the elites. The moment the challenge started, the elite group took off quickly. Jason and Lily raced ahead, confident they would win. "Come on, let's show them how it's done," Jason shouted, his voice filled with arrogance. They began searching for food and resources with military precision. Mia's group decided to stick together. "We need to be smart about this," Kale said. "Let's split up the tasks. Tasha and I will look for food, and Mia and Alex can start on the shelter." As they moved through the simulated environment, Tasha spotted some edible plants. "These might work," she exclaimed, gathering the bright green leaves. Meanwhile, Mia and Alex worked hard to gather materials for the shelter. They used branches and large leaves to create a sturdy structure. After a short while, the elite group returned with a pile of supplies. "Look at all the food we found," Lily bragged. But the underdogs remained focused on their own task, knowing they had their own strategy. As the time ticked down, Mia and Alex finished building their shelter. "It looks great," Mia said, feeling proud. "Now let's create a signal to call for help." They worked quickly to find materials that could shine brightly, while Kale and Tasha continued gathering food. The elite team had set up a flashy signal with their supplies. "We'll win for sure," Jason boasted, his confidence soaring. But when the time for the first challenge ended, it was clear that the underdogs had put together a strong plan. Commander Zurich walked around to inspect each group. He studied the elite group's flashy signal, but was drawn to the underdog's shelter and resourcefulness. "Impressive teamwork here," he noted, looking at Mia and her friends. You worked together well and created something practical. When the results were announced, everyone held their breath. The winning team for this challenge is the underdogs, Commander Zurich declared, and the room erupted in cheers. Mia, Alex, Kale, and Tasha hugged each other, thrilled and surprised. The final challenge. The day of the final challenge had arrived. The training facility buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Students from all corners gathered, their hearts racing. They knew this was it, the moment they had been training for. The final challenge would determine who would be the champions of the survival challenge. Commander Zurich stood in front of everyone, his presence commanding silence. Today, you will face your greatest test. This challenge will combine everything you have learned: teamwork, creativity, and problem-solving, he announced. You will be placed in a hostile environment and must complete a series of tasks to survive. Mia looked at her friends. They were a team now, stronger than ever. We can do this, she said, her voice filled with determination. Kale, Alex, and Tasha nodded, sharing the same spirit. As the challenge began, the students were transported to a simulated alien planet filled with obstacles and dangers. The environment was harsh, rocky terrain, strange creatures lurking, and unpredictable weather. The stakes were high, but the underdogs were ready. Their first task was to gather supplies. Let's split up again, Mia suggested. Tasha and I will look for food, and Kale and Alex can scout for shelter. They all agreed, knowing that time was essential. Mia and Tasha moved quickly through the rocky landscape. As they searched for edible plants, Maya felt a sense of purpose. Look over there. Tasha pointed to a cluster of bright fruits hanging from a tree-like plant. They quickly gathered the fruits, grateful for the sustenance. Meanwhile, Kale and Alex ventured deeper into the terrain, searching for a safe place to set up camp. Suddenly, they spotted a cave that seemed perfect for shelter. This is it, Kale exclaimed. We can use this as our base. But just as they turned to head back, a strange creature appeared. It was large, with glowing eyes and sharp claws. Run! Alex shouted, and they sprinted back toward the others, their hearts pounding. When they reunited, they quickly shared what they had found. We have food, and we found a cave for shelter. But there's a creature out there, Kale explained, still catching his breath. Let's set up a defense, Mia suggested. We can create barriers using branches and rocks. They worked together to fortify their shelter, using their resourcefulness to keep the creature at bay. As they prepared for the next task, Jason and Lily from the elite team approached, sneering at the underdogs. You think you can win? You'll never match our skills, Jason taunted. But Maya refused to let their words affect her. We'll show you what teamwork can do, she said confidently. With their shelter secure, it was time for the next task, signaling for help. The students had to create a device that could send a signal across the galaxy. Mia's mind raced with ideas. What if we combine our food supplies with some shiny materials? She suggested. We can create something that reflects light. Working quickly, the team gathered items from their surroundings. They used shiny rocks and the bright fruits they had found to create a makeshift signal. Tasha climbed to a high point near the cave entrance, ready to test the device. Okay, here goes, Tasha called down. With a deep breath, she positioned their signal towards the sky and ignited it. A brilliant flash of light burst forth, illuminating the alien landscape. It was a beautiful sight. Great job! Kale cheered, and the others joined in. They felt a rush of excitement, knowing they had done something extraordinary. But their celebration was short-lived. Suddenly, the creature from earlier emerged from the shadows, drawn to the light. Get back inside, Mia shouted, pushing her friends toward the cave. They barely made it inside as the creature lunged at them, its claws scraping against the entrance. Panic filled the air. What do we do now? Alex asked, his voice shaking. It's too strong. Remember our training, Mia urged. We need to work together. We can't let it break in. They quickly devised a plan. Using the supplies they had gathered, they created makeshift weapons from branches and rocks, ready to defend themselves. As the creature continued to claw at the entrance, they stood firm. On my count, we pushed together. Mia shouted. 1, 2, 3. They all shoved forward with all their strength, forcing the creature back. To their surprise, the creature hesitated, and Mia saw an opportunity. Now, we can distract it. She threw a piece of fruit away from the cave entrance, catching the creature's attention. It turned, chasing after the shiny object. Quick, let's seal the entrance, Tasha shouted, and they hurried to block the entrance with heavy rocks and branches. With a few quick movements, they secured their shelter. Breathing heavily, the team collapsed on the ground, adrenaline still pumping through their veins. That was close. Kale gasped, wiping sweat from his forehead. But even as they caught their breath, they knew they couldn't let their guard down. The final challenge was not over yet. They had proven their strength as a team, but they still needed to complete the remaining tasks to succeed. As the sun set over the alien landscape, casting long shadows, Maya looked at her friends. "No matter what happens, I'm proud of us," she said, feeling the strong bond between them. "We've come so far together." Her friends nodded, their determination renewed. They were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. The journey was not just about survival. It was about friendship, courage, and the spirit of teamwork. Tomorrow would bring more trials, but they had each other. Together, they were not just students. They were a team of heroes, ready to take on the galaxy. The turning point. The following day dawned bright and clear on the alien planet. Mia, Tasha, Kale, and Alex woke up in their makeshift shelter, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. They had survived the creature's attack, but the final challenge was far from over. As they gathered around to discuss their next steps, Commander Zarek's voice echoed through their communication devices. "Good morning, contestants. Today, you will face your next task, the escape course. This challenge will test your ability to navigate obstacles and work as a team. You will have 1 hour to complete it." Mia felt a rush of determination. "We can do this," she exclaimed. The others nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted. They quickly packed their supplies and made their way to the designated area. When they arrived, they were met with a sprawling course filled with obstacles, pits, climbing walls, and tricky paths. The alien elites, including Jason and Lily, stood nearby, looking confident and prepared. "Ready to lose again?" Jason sneered, crossing his arms. "You'll never beat us. We've trained for this our whole lives." Mia felt anger bubbling inside her but pushed it aside. "We'll see about that," she replied, trying to stay focused. They gathered in a huddle, forming a strategy. "Let's work together," she said. "We need to communicate and support each other. If we fall behind, we can't help one another." As the challenge began, the students took off running. The course was harder than it looked. Maya felt her heart race as they faced the first obstacle, a deep pit filled with strange, slimy creatures. "We need to jump across," she shouted. Tasha went first, leaping gracefully to the other side. "Now, Kale," Mia encouraged. He took a deep breath and followed, making it across. "Alex, you can do this," she called out. Alex hesitated for a moment, but then took a leap of faith, landing safely beside them. They cheered for each other, their confidence growing. As they continued, they faced a steep climbing wall. Kale led the way, using his strength to pull himself up. "Come on, guys. We can do this," he encouraged. Mia followed closely, using every ounce of her energy to climb. When she reached the top, she extended her hand to help the others. "Grab my hand," she shouted. They all made it up, but the competition was fierce. The elite team was gaining on them. Just as they were catching their breath, they heard a loud crash. The elite team had triggered a trap, causing rocks to tumble down toward them. "Run!" Mia yelled, and they quickly descended the wall, avoiding the falling debris. With their hearts racing, they pushed through the course, reaching the next challenge. A maze of thick vines and sharp thorns. "We need to find the quickest way out," Tasha said, looking at the tangle ahead. Mia closed her eyes for a moment, trying to think clearly. "Let's stick together and look for a path. If we split up, we might get lost." They worked together, navigating the maze. Kale spotted a clear opening and led them toward it. "This way," he called, and they hurried after him. But just as they thought they were free, they heard the alien lights catching up. "We can't let them win," Alex urged. With renewed determination, they pushed forward. Finally, they'd reached the last challenge. A series of balance beams suspended over a pit of glowing lava. "This is it," Mia shouted. "We need to cross without falling." Kale went first, his focus intense. He moved carefully across the beam, steadying himself. One by one, they'd followed, each step crucial. Tasha was next, and she took a deep breath as she stepped onto the beam. "I can do this," she whispered, moving with grace. Just as they were nearing the end, they heard a commotion behind them. Jason had lost his balance and was struggling to regain his footing. "Help!" he cried out, fear evident in his voice. Mia glanced back, torn between their competition and the call for help. "We can't leave him," she shouted. "What? Are you crazy?" Alex replied, panic in his voice. "He's our enemy." But Mia shook her head, her heart racing. "We can't let anyone fall. We have to help." With determination, she ran back toward the beam. "Grab my hand," she yelled to Jason. He reached out, and with a burst of strength, she pulled him up, helping him regain his balance. "Why are you helping me?" Jason asked, surprised. "Because it's the right thing to do," Mia replied. "We're not just here to win. We're here to show what true strength means." With Mia's help, Jason made it across the beam. The other students looked on, shocked but inspired. They realized that despite the rivalry, humanity shone through in moments of compassion. Finally, all the students crossed the finish line together. They had done it. They had completed the escape course against all odds. Commander Zarek appeared, smiling proudly. "You all showed remarkable teamwork and bravery today," he said. "This challenge was about more than just winning. It was about character. You all exemplified what it means to be heroes." Mia felt a wave of pride wash over her. They were not just students. They were a team of heroes, united in their determination to prove themselves. They had come so far together, and there was still more to face. As they celebrated their victory, Mia exchanged glances with her friends. They had overcome challenges and learned the importance of compassion and teamwork. Together, they were unstoppable. But in the back of her mind, she knew that the final test was still ahead. The competition was far from over, and they would need to stay strong and united to face whatever came next. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, they celebrated their victory. They were not just underdogs. They were heroes in the making, ready to take on the galaxy. The final challenge. The next day brought a different atmosphere. The air felt charged with excitement and tension. Mia, Tasha, Kale, and Alex gathered early in their shelter, discussing their strategy for the final challenge. They knew it would be tough, and they wanted to be ready. As they prepared, Commander Zarek's voice echoed through their communication devices again. "Good morning, contestants. Today marks the final challenge of the survival games. You will face the arena of trials, where you must prove your skills and teamwork. Only the strongest will survive." Mia felt her heart race. This was it, the moment they had all been waiting for. They had worked hard, and now they needed to show everyone what they could do. The students arrived at the arena, a massive structure filled with various obstacles and challenges. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as spectators from across the galaxy filled the stands, eager to witness the showdown. As they entered the arena, Jason and Lily approached them with smug looks on their faces. "Enjoy the spotlight while you can," Jason taunted. "We'll wipe the floor with you today." Mia felt a surge of determination. "We'll see about that," she replied, standing tall beside her friends. The challenge began with a loud horn. The students dashed forward, quickly facing their first obstacle, a series of laser traps. Bright beams crisscrossed the ground, creating a maze that they needed to navigate. "Stay low and move quickly," Tasha called out, leading the way. They ducked and rolled, narrowly avoiding the lasers. Maya felt her adrenaline pumping as she followed closely behind. They made it through the traps, cheering for one another as they emerged unscathed. Next, they encountered a giant wall covered in slippery slime. "We have to climb this," Kale shouted, eyeing the challenge ahead. "Let's form a human chain," Mia suggested. They worked together, creating a line to help each other reach the top. With each handhold, they encouraged one another, their teamwork shining through. As they reached the summit, they heard a loud roar from the other side of the wall. They looked down to see a ferocious alien creature waiting for them. "What do we do now?" Alex asked, fear in his eyes. "Stay calm," Mia instructed. "We need to outsmart it." Just then, Jason and Lily appeared behind them, ready to tackle the creature. "Leave it to us," Lily shouted, pulling out a high-tech weapon. "No," Mia exclaimed. "We can handle this ourselves. Let's work together." But Jason and Lily didn't listen. They rushed forward, ready to attack. The creature lunged at them, snarling. In the chaos, Jason stumbled, losing his grip on his weapon. Mia took a deep breath, remembering what they had learned. "We can't fight it head-on. Let's distract it," she yelled. They quickly formed a plan, using their environment to their advantage. Tasha grabbed a nearby rock and threw it to the side, catching the creature's attention. It turned, snarling, and charged after the noise. "Now," Mia shouted, and they made their move. Working as a team, they swiftly climbed onto the creature's back, holding on tightly. "We need to subdue it," Kale cried out, reaching for its neck. With careful coordination, they managed to calm the creature down, demonstrating their strength and teamwork. As the creature settled, the crowd erupted in cheers. "Incredible," they shouted, impressed by the students' bravery. With the creature now under control, the group realized they had formed a bond with it. It was no longer just a monster, it was an ally. They carefully climbed down, and Mia reached out to pat its side. "We did it together," she said softly. The final challenge continued with new obstacles, each one tougher than the last. They faced a pit filled with boiling liquid and an elaborate puzzle that required them to work together to solve. Each time they overcame a challenge, their confidence grew. Finally, they'd reached the last part of the arena, the grand stage. Here, they would face the ultimate test, a series of riddles that would determine the winner. A holographic figure appeared before them, representing the galaxy's greatest thinkers. "Answer my riddles correctly, and victory will be yours," the figure announced. Mia stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. "We can do this together," she encouraged her friends. The riddles began, and each one was trickier than the last. They debated, laughed, and fought hard, using their different strengths to come up with the answers. Mia was amazed at how well they worked together, each student contributing their unique knowledge and skills. As the final riddle was presented, they huddled together, brainstorming furiously. "It's about teamwork," Alex suddenly exclaimed. "The answer is unity." The holographic figure nodded, a smile appearing on its face. "Correct. You have proven yourselves worthy." Cheers erupted from the crowd as they celebrated their victory. Maya looked at her friends, their faces lit up with joy. They had come so far and faced so many challenges together. Commander Zarek appeared again, a proud expression on his face. "Congratulations. You have shown not only your skills, but also the strength of unity and friendship. You are truly the heroes of this competition." Mia felt tears of happiness fill her eyes. They had not just survived the challenges. They had grown together as a team. They were no longer just students. They were a family. As they took their victory lap, Maya reflected on everything they had accomplished. They had proven that even the most unlikely heroes could overcome great odds when they worked together. The galaxy would remember their names, not just as competitors, but as symbols of hope and resilience. This was only the beginning of their journey, and together, they would face whatever came next. With newfound confidence and unbreakable bonds, they were ready to embrace the adventures ahead. A new beginning. The cheers of the crowd echoed in Mia's ears as they celebrated their victory. It was hard to believe how far they had come since the beginning of the survival games. They were no longer just students. They were heroes. As the excitement faded, Commander Zarek stepped forward. "Congratulations, contestants. You have shown great skill and teamwork. You are not only the winners of this challenge, but also ambassadors of Earth." His voice rang out, filling the arena with pride. The students looked at one another, their hearts swelling with joy. They had worked hard and supported each other through every challenge. Now they stood as a united front, ready to face whatever lay ahead. "Thank you, Commander," Maya said, her voice steady. "This victory is not just ours. It belongs to everyone back on Earth who believed in us. We couldn't have done it without our teamwork and the support from our friends and families." The crowd erupted into applause again, and Maya felt a warmth spread through her. It was a reminder of the strength of unity and friendship. As the ceremony continued, Zarek announced the next steps for the winners. "You will have the opportunity to share your story with the galaxy, to inspire others, and to build bridges between our worlds. Your adventure is just beginning." Tasha, filled with excitement, nudged Mia. "Can you believe it? We're going to be ambassadors." Mia smiled widely. "We're going to show everyone what humans can do." With their victory, the students were granted access to advanced training programs, resources, and even opportunities to explore different planets. Each of them had their own dreams, but they knew they wanted to pursue them together. As they left the arena, the stars above twinkled brightly. The universe felt vast and full of possibilities. They had faced fearsome challenges and emerged stronger. In the following weeks, they embarked on their new journey, exploring alien worlds, learning new technologies, and meeting diverse beings from across the galaxy. They became a well-known team, known for their bravery and kindness. They also visited schools and communities, sharing their story and inspiring young minds. Maya loved seeing the excitement in the eyes of children as they listened to their adventures. "You can achieve anything if you work together," she would tell them, her voice filled with passion. Back on Earth, their families watched proudly as the students made their mark in the galaxy. They received messages from friends and supporters, congratulating them on their achievements. One day, while sitting on a distant planet, Tasha turned to Mia and said, "Do you think we'll ever return to Earth?" Mia nodded, gazing at the stars. "Of course. We'll bring back stories of our adventures, new friends, and knowledge. Earth is where it all started, and we will always carry it with us." Kale chimed in, and who knows, maybe we'll even invite Earth to join the Galactic Council. The thought filled them with excitement. They were just students from Earth, but now they were part of something much bigger. As they ventured from one planet to another, each experience taught them valuable lessons about courage, understanding, and the importance of working together. They discovered new cultures, unique technologies, and the beauty of friendship that transcended boundaries. One evening, under the glowing light of a distant star, Mia gathered her friends. "I'm so grateful for all of you. We've come so far together. No matter where we go, we'll always be a team." Her friends smiled, their hearts filled with warmth. "Forever a team," they echoed. As they continued their journey, they knew that this was just the beginning. They had faced challenges and conquered them, But the galaxy was still full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. With laughter, dreams, and a promise to always support each other, they set forth into the universe. Together, they would explore new worlds, face new challenges, and write their own story, one that would inspire generations to come. And as they flew into the starry night, they knew that they were not just unlikely heroes. They were pioneers of a new era, ready to embrace whatever adventure awaited them. The galaxy was vast, and their hearts were full of hope.